Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. My name is Sifu Bryan. I'm a Northern Prairie Mantis Conflict teacher with 30 years experience. It is the 28th of January 2021. Welcome to my weekly quote, guys. Let's get straight to my quote. I believe the heart is the only thing we can trust. Maya Angelola. Most definitely, this is a phenomenal quote. I believe the heart is the only thing we can trust. And that's so true. Um, at times, you have to have courage to trust in your heart. And there's times when you there's times when things come up in life where you have to make a decision, and at times your the voices in your head tries to discourage you to act from the heart. And it's such a shame, and it's such a shame we don't trust in our intuition, which our heart guides. And another thing is like what I'm reading here. Trusting your heart means realizing that your heart has access to a wisdom that is many times greater than your intellect. And that is phenomenal and very true. I remember years ago when I had to make a decision whether I go to college and follow one of my aspirations, one of my dreams, which was to teach children in a school, or go to college, or go to university, I should say. Now, that was a very hard decision because I knew if I went to university, that would more or less guarantee me a top salary, you know. But I took a harder decision, which did take courage, because deep down in my soul or in my heart, I knew I had to go down this path, which was to teach full time in the martial arts, and knowing that the money would probably not be there for a while, and that I would probably be very uncomfortable for a while. But then, because you're following your heart desire, things, opportunities do open up for you. And what I liked was the coincidences, or so-called coincidences, that kind of fell into my lap, where a friend said to me, well, why don't you um, do close protection, as you do martial arts and stuff like that. And I thought, close protection, I don't know, I'm not the biggest of guys, I'm quite short. you know but again, the nattering voice in your head, but I went up there, went for the course, and yeah, phenomenal. And the guys were very welcoming, very welcoming, and it was like a brotherhood, really. But it was a fantastic experience and great training from top rural protection officers, and many different close protection factions. Great experience. And that was another heartfelt decision. So, and you feel happier and you feel more whole. You're doing things that you really want to do. And for me, that's food for the soul. And it makes you more happy, it makes you more harmonized. And even though the money might not come straight away, it will come. It will come, because you're doing something that you love to do, and that only generates positive energy, and within that positive energy opens up many doors, and on this journey that I've been on, it has opened many doors, but it took courage. So I say to my students, have the courage to follow your heart's desire. Have the courage to stand up for yourself if you're in a situation where it could be quite threatening. You've got to dig deep, and you've got to have a big heart. As we say in the praying mantis, you have to have a big heart. You have to be prepared to stand up. You have to be prepared to be shouted down. You have to be prepared to take a blow, maybe, but have the courage and the wisdom to overcome it and move yourself forward. And within the praying mantis, those are our characteristics: to have a big heart, to have the courage to stand out, or to look the weirdo, or but have that courage within you and move yourself forward. Because in our school of the praying mantis, we are not sheep, we are leaders. And I encourage all my students to become leaders and to think for yourself. Think for yourself and do your own research, not what you're getting off the news of what's going on and stuff like that. Take from what you need to take from that, and then research on it and look at other sources, and then you'll get a more complete picture. But I do like this quote. This quote is a phenomenal quote. Let me just read it again. I believe the heart is the only thing we can trust. And if you can't trust that, then what else can you trust, really? And I think we've lost that connection with ourselves. We've lost that connection with our higher self, our higher purpose. And we need to find that connections back within ourselves, because there's times when, for me personally, when I see what's going on and what's going on around the world, is that my instincts tells me something's not right. That's just me personally. And when my instincts tells me that, you've got to trust it. You might not understand it at first, but you've got to trust it. And believe you me, it might not be clear at first, but God or the Most High or whatever you believe in will eventually make things clear, and you better to see clearly, and you better to see which direction you should take once it comes from here, from the heart. You will be guided. And I think we've lost that connection. But the beautiful thing about martial arts, it brings you back into that connection with yourself, with the heart. And as a fighter, you have to have heart. You have to have heart. Now, as you know, I like to look on what's going on around the world, and I try and highlight certain things. And once again, I said to people, don't believe me, just do your own research and confirm things for yourself. I'm just doing what I'm doing, giving out pointers, and if you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. We're not going to be enemies here. We're grown people. We just have different forms of opinions. And what's going on in the media is that they're outcasting people with different opinions and making them bad people because you're not agreeing with their narrative. That we should discourage at all costs. This is not a communist country. They want this to be a communist country, but this is not a communist country. And we should guard our freedoms of speech, like your life depends on it, because it will do. Now, one of the articles I read on is from the Telegraph, and it says here, printed on the 21st of Jan, that the government discontinued a COVID ad accusing joggers and dog walkers exercising of being highly likely to have the virus. Controversy, a controversial advert condemned for spreading false information and risk scaring people into physical inactivity. The regulator, the ASA, which stands for Advertising Standard Agency, said there was no evidence to support the claim. The taxpayer funded this advert was condemned by MPs and public health experts for spreading false information and scaring people into physical inactivity during third lockdown. So, if the government tells you social media has a lot of fake information, remind them about this advert they put out, which they got condemned for putting out fake information. So, and that was by the Advertising Standard Agency, because the government was gonna promote a propaganda tool to say that joggers and dog walkers spread the virus, and they based that on no evidence, no science. So please, when I say that governments do lie and can lie and are lying, we've got it here in black and white. So there you go. Now, another thing I saw was that a group of psychologists accused the government of using covert strategies to keep the people in a perpetual state of heightened fear to make them obey the COVID-19 restrictions, said in the Daily Express. This is doing more harm than good. This perpetual fear attacks your immune system, which we know, being in a state of fear consistently will affect your immune systems. That's why I say sometimes turn off that news, turn it off, because it's just pure fear and no science. No science. It's not based on science, it's not based on evidence. So there you go. People scared to have their home. Oops. To have their, what have I put in here? To have their, I'm not too sure what I've written there. I can't even read my own writing. Scared to, so people are scared to leave their homes. People not turning up for their appointments, increased loneliness, increased mental illness. So these psychotherapists are saying that the government are using covert strategies to instill perpetual fear in people, and they're saying they've got to stop it. So that's fantastic. Now, another thing here, weekly care homes. Oh, this was another thing I saw. Weekly care homes deaths toll tripled in a fortnight. Question for Matt Hancock. How many of the people who have died of the virus in care homes over the last 2 weeks have received the jab? So how many people have received the jab? Because the deaths in care homes, they say, have tripled. It's a simple question, and the reason the the reason for the question is 1,705 care home residents died from the virus in the week ending January the 22nd. That was up to 661 a fortnight ago, and 1,292 in a week ending January the 15th. Care homes residents account for almost a third of all COVID facilities, ONS says. Vaccine rollout for care homes started on the 23rd of December. They say from Care Homes UK that 95% of care homes have had all their residents vaccinated. If Matt Hancock does not know, he's incompetent. Incompetent. If he has not thought about the question, he is incompetent. If he knows and is unwilling to disclose that information, then he is deceptive and misleading as well as incompetent. Yeah, because it's just saying here that so many people have died in care homes since the rollout of the vaccines. And the question is, how many of these people died that took the vaccine? Because with all these numbers in care homes that has tripled, it seems to be that there could be a link with the vaccines. And if there's a link with the vaccines, then they need to stop distributing them to the older generation and really check this vaccine out properly. Let's see. Another article that came up was, where are we? Another article that came up was now LBC Radio says that lockdown kills. According to the Times, a dossier according to the national statistics that tells them the data of what we're calling an impact assessment. The question you're saying is that we need to be safe. Okay, how many lives will die through the lockdown measures compared to how many lives you will save through lockdown? That's a good question. That is a simple question. They have this information, the government, in a secret dossier that they have refused to release. Now, I've always said that why has the government refused to release a dossier on this simple question? Now, it goes on to say that evidence have not been released by the government, and thereby any expert who says they follow the science or evidence is lying, because no one has seen the evidence. The only one that has done an impact assessment is Professor Philip Thomas from Bristol University. Published on the 8th of November 2020, lockdowns will claim the equivalent of 560,000 lives because of the health impact of the deep and prolonged recession it will cause. He covered the question, how many people will die through COVID? He said only 10% of the global figure will die of the 560,000. So that is a 90% increase in deaths because of lockdowns. The head of the UN said hundreds of thousands of children will die globally. if the evidence is saying this, the public being scared into doing another lockdown. The people want these lockdowns have the people that want these lockdowns have a conflict of interest, i.e. Matt Hancock selling PPE to his best friends. The other one, what's his name? The treasurer, Sunak. What does it say about Mr. Sunak? Where are we? Sunak. Where are we? Yeah, Richie Sunak doing deals with I've lost it there. But Richie Sunak, who is a treasurer, has also done deals or private deals with other companies, and also has a vested interest in these lockdowns. So that's all I've done today on that one. But yeah, there's a couple of articles I've been looking at around it. As you can see, I'm no fan of lockdowns, but my mind is open. But from the information I've seen so far, it's not great, and the impact, just on the mental impact on people, will be devastating, let alone the economy. So there you go. Another thing was that the government of Belarus, the government of Belarus was bribed by the WHO $950 million to shut down his economy, to mandate face masks, and to destroy his crops on a cure which they said can cure this so-called disease. But he refused to do it. So, you know, big up the president of Belarus. He refused to do it, you know. But that's another thing. People have come out with certain cures and stuff like that, and they've shut them down, or they've just totally outlawed that particular medicine, which is such a shame, because that particular medicine I'm talking about, I'm going to be careful how I talk there because they could shut you down and all, but that particular medicine has been around for over 40 years, and all of a sudden now it's become an issue because it doesn't fit the narrative. They want to push out the vaccines. So it's such a shame we've gone down this road, but I think now so many people are awake, and so many people now are taking an interest, because we've all been complicit in this, that we've not taken an interest in what our government's been doing. But now, because of what's been happening, it's woken up a lot of people, and we're now taking a full interest in what's going on. So there you go. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to my ramble and waffle and stuff. But this quote is a phenomenal quote from Maya Angelou, and it goes, "I believe the heart is the only thing we can trust." And that is so, so true. And another controversial thing I might say will be the US elections. Now, this is going to sound very strange for people, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You don't have to agree with me and so forth. But, you know, I think I've said in other videos that there was a bet. I had a bet on Trump winning the elections and so forth, and that Biden would never get in. But it turned out it took a different turn, a different twist. Now, when the inauguration was going on with Biden, my 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 brother came rushing into the room, and he said, "There you go, told you. He's president." And I've lost the bet. But he came in on his laptop, and his laptop, I was watching it, and then I thought, okay. And I turned on the TV, turned it on the same channel, and there was a massive lag. 5 minutes. Now, this thing was supposed to be live. Now, I've been at live events when we've been doing the security at football games, and I've got my mobile phone. We've not been in the grounds, we're outside the grounds, we're on our mobile phone, watching the game from all our mobile phones. We hear a cheer from the crowd in the football grounds that a goal has been scored, but on my mobile phone, they haven't scored as yet. So there's a lag of maybe 30 to 1 minute maximum. The lag on this inauguration was 5 minutes, and it was supposed to be live. That was pre-recorded. No way was that live. And to even back that up even more, another guy, Charlie Ward, said that he had the inauguration 24 hours beforehand. He had the record of the inauguration. So what's going on? Now, people say this is mad, this is crazy, because they saw it with their own eyes on TV. But as you know, you could make anything real with the technology we have now on TV. I could be sitting here, but I could be in the middle of the Bahamas. Right? I could be in the middle of the Bahamas. You could do anything with the technology we have now. And I do believe clues have been left for us to really scrutinize what's going on in America. Now, from the information that I've been hearing from Charlie Ward, and he says he gets his information straight from the White House and so forth, that Trump left the military in charge, and it's the military that is running America and not Biden. And hear me out before you switch off or say you're crazy and all that stuff, but the telltale signs that has been pointed out has been, one, it's boarded up. It's like a prison, literally. DC is like a prison, and the District of Columbia, which is DC, is foreign land, which I didn't know that. It's foreign land. It's not on the land of America. They class that piece of land as foreign. DC, the District of Columbia. It's the same of the City of London. The City of London is classed as a different entity. It has its own laws. The same with the Catholic Church. That has its own laws, has its own army, has its own money. So there are places on the planet that isn't in the area of that country. It's classed as foreign soil, and they've surrounded that area, they've barbed it up, and it looks like a prison. On top of that, you've got thousands of soldiers, which makes no sense, in that area. And what Charlie Ward is saying is that they've handed over that Trump has handed over power to the military and to FEMA, and that is what is going on now, and that Biden is a lame duck president. And other clues to that is, you don't actually, it appears as he's in the White House, but again, they're saying this has been filmed on a different location. Now, I'm keeping my mind open because things don't look right. Something in here is telling me something's not right. because he's sitting at this table, square little table, looks like a school desk. When Trump is sitting at the oval table, it's a proper big table. Yeah, these are just little details, but look, he's on a little desk. It's almost like they're taking a mick. He's on a little desk. He's signing these executive orders. Executive orders are blank. Even I can see that there's nothing written on them. Blank. And he's writing these executive orders, and I've been told he's been writing it with not his normal writing hand, which is, I can't remember if this is right or left, but basically he's writing in his other hand. So there's all these little mini clues. They also said when you look outside the window, it looked like he's in a car park. It's like, what? So these are all just little mini clues to say that this is not real. It's not real. But again, you know, I cannot prove it, but I could go by just these little hinters by seeing what Trump did. When Trump signed the executive orders, he would hold it up and he would show it to the camera. Biden's not done that. He's not done that. Also, you can check the registrar, the federal registrar, to see his executive orders. Now, when I first checked, none of those orders were up. It was blank. But I saw Trump's, I saw Biden's, I saw Obama, I saw the Clintons. But I got to admit, 2 days later, I did go back and check again, and 9 of them were there. But on that day, he did sign 17, but only 9 showed up. So, yeah, we'll leave that one open a bit. But, you know, it's just interesting. So, another thing that Charlie Ward is saying is that Trump may come back in and but come in with a different party. Come in with a different party. And I think they're going to be called the Patriots. But they're very keen to to impeach him. Now, my question is, he's not the president, so they say. And how can you impeach someone that is not? You could only impeach a president. This is my argument. You could only impeach a president. So how can you impeach him for the second time? And he's supposedly not the president, or is he? So I know this sounds weird and strange, but you know, it's good for people to go out there and do their own research and look into this. But you know, fact is the troops are all around there. So I do feel it's under military law. You've got American troops all over the place. Oh, and also he's assigned, Biden assigned Charles Finn as head of the military. I think that's General Finn's brother. He would have never have done that. Never, never. General Flynn, anyone that knows the history with that would never have happened. So I think there are telltale signs out there that Biden's not really running the show. I think this is just to show people what Biden would do if he gets in there, and he's showing his true colours true and true. He's inviting the Communist Party, the Chinese Party. He's writing all these documentations that is friendlier towards China. And when I say China, I'm talking about the CCP, not the people. The people are cool. It's the Communist Party that are out to destroy America and the rest of the world. So let's see what happens. I think let's see what happens. But they say that there will be an organisation, a real organisation on the 4th of March. But again, we will see, because things can change and twists and turns, and things don't seem to run straight as what happened here with Biden. So we will see what happens. I'm going to keep my mind open. You know, if I'm wrong, you know, I'm wrong. But, you know, there's a few people that bet me that Trump would would not be president, um, and people might be saying I'm sour grapes and I'm making up whatever I'm making up, but we will see. But I would say if I'm wrong, then I will admit that hey, I was wrong. But until I'm proven differently, we will see. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in March. We'll see what happens from now to March, because I think things are going to be made even clearer and so forth. And I've also said that Johnson will not last another term or another year, I should say, in government. I think there's writing on the wall on that one and all. So let's see what happens. And guys, I would say take care, stay blessed, and I'll catch you soon.